Hey, it's Nate, and today I am doing Across the Universe by the Beatles. It's one of my favorite John Lennon songs, and today I'm going to show you an easy and great sounding piano accompaniment. Let's jump in. Alright, so first off, I recommend you get the chords and lyrics chart. There's a link down in the description that will help you follow along and see where the chords and the lyrics line up with each other. And I'm going to be playing this in the key of D major, so F's and C's are sharp. That's the key it was written in on guitar. Now on the studio recording, they tuned the guitar down a half step, so the recording sounds like D flat, but D is much easier to play it in on piano, and most people who cover it on guitar play it in D as well, so if you are jamming along with a guitar player, that's probably the key you'll want to be in. But anyway, let's start out with that iconic intro. It's going to sound like this. Now we're in a slow 4/4 time in this song. Every measure gets 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. But right off the bat here, we need to be thinking in eighth notes, thinking 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Here are the notes and rhythms for the first measure of the intro. In the right hand on count 1, we're going to do A and F sharp, and this is middle C between those, by the way, so you make sure you're in the right octave here. And then on the and after 1, we're just going to hit a D in the left hand. So that's going to be 1 and. Now we're going to jump our right hand up. You can use the F sharp as a target for where your first finger's going to land for an F sharp and D up here. And that's on beat 2. And on the and after 2, we're going to hit that low D in the left hand again. 1 and 2 and. For the rest of the eighth notes in this measure, the right hand is going to play. We're going to be stepping down first on a E and C sharp, then on a D and B, then on a C sharp and A. And you could just hop your fingers like that. Probably a better way to do it would be 1 and 5, 1 and 4, 1 and 3. And then just on the final eighth note of the measure, you can press this F sharp. So again, that's 3 and 4 and. So one more time slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so for the rest of this, let's just look at the underlying chords here. So that first measure, the underlying chord was a D. But now we've got this F sharp minor. So coming down here, I'm going to use my fifth finger on a low F sharp here, and then F sharp, A, and C sharp here. And we're going to play on every single eighth note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But I'm going to be going back and forth between the F sharp minor and the F sharp sus4, just on every eighth note. So just that middle note is walking between the A and the B. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and doing a little bit of a crescendo as well, starting quiet and growing a little bigger as we go to the A. So to get to that A major chord, all we got to do in the right hand actually is drop the first finger down to an E. So it's an E, A, and C sharp. Gonna come up here to an A bass note with the third finger. And then once again, we're going back and forth between an A and a B. So this is going back and forth between an A major and like an A sus2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So one more time on that full intro, and then we'll jump in with the verse. 3 and 4 and. We are in the verse. Here are the chords for that. First, we've got a D major chord. The right hand is in the same position that we started the intro with, but this time we are filling out the D as the middle note. So A, D, and F sharp with a D here with our first finger. And that is going to be for 2 counts because there is also a B minor in this measure. So it's D, 2, B minor, 4. So to get to the B minor, all we got to do is take that A and move it up to the B, and of course do a B bass note. So I am starting to do quarter note chords in the right hand, just hitting on every count gently. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we've got another really smooth transition here to the F sharp minor. We did the root position before in the intro. Now I'm doing this inversion because it flows so nicely by just keeping the F sharp on top. So we got F sharp in the left, A, C sharp, and F sharp. That lasts a full measure, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we've got this E minor 7. Also a full measure of that. We're going to come down to an E here and G, B, D. So like a root position G chord in the right hand, but with E bass note. 3, 4. This next measure is a little bit weird. We've got an A major root position, A, C sharp, and E with the A bass note here. To make that the A7, all you got to do is drop the right hand first finger down to a G. This particular time in the song, he stays on A for 5 counts, hence the 5/4 time signature there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And throughout the song, it's sort of ambiguous when it's A, when it's A7. I think it sounds really nice to do 2 A's and then on the word universe, change to the A7. Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither wildly as they slip away across the universe. Of sorrow. Okay, so we're in the next line here. It starts the same way. D for 2, B minor for 2, F sharp minor for 4. Then we get to E minor 7 again. This time it's only a measure of 2 counts, so 2/4 time. 1, 2, and then a G minor. So stepping outside the key here with a G, B flat, and D. That of course is for possessing and caressing me. 3, 4 before going on to the chorus. Now, it sounds a little bit more accurate to the guitar voicing on the recording to do an inversion of the G minor like that, but it flows so much better on piano to keep it root position and it's a bit easier. So you can take your pick there. I'm just gonna play that whole first verse one more time and I'm gonna add a little bit more left hand rhythm. This is optional, but just to give it a little bit more movement, you can hit on some of the 8th notes, some of the ands between the right hand hit. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. So especially the and after 2 and the and after 4. I'll just be sprinkling that in as I feel it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither wildly as they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my opened mind, possessing and caressing me. Jaggaroo. Okay, so now we're in the chorus. All right, so here are the chords to the chorus. One thing off the bat is I'm gonna do octaves in the left hand to give it a little bit more power, but if you can't make the stretch, you can just pick high or low. And I'm gonna keep doing some of those 8th note hits, the ands between when the right hand is pulsing, but I'm gonna do it with just the top note in the left hand. Just get a nice little pulse going. So we've got 2 full measures of D, same voicing as before on Jaggaroo Deva. Okay, then we've got Om. So a full measure of A7 sus4. I'm gonna do these A octaves down here, and then G, D, and E. And then turn it into just a regular A major root position. Nothing's gonna change my world. So 4 counts of that before doing A7 like we did it before. And then nothing's gonna change my world. So for that G, I'm doing a first inversion, B, D, and G, and that flows really nicely back to the D. You could do the root position G, but this is more accurate, and in this case I think is pretty easy. So then we're back to the A again. Change my world, A7, and then one more G. Nothing's gonna change my world. 2, 3, 4. So let me just play through that whole chorus one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jagaru Deva Om. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Okay, cool. And then we would be in the second verse. And at this point, we've learned basically everything you need to know. The verses are all a little different, though. They're sort of just combinations of the different stuff we've talked about. So here's the chords for verse 2. So notice that neither of the lines in verse 2 end with the G minor. But in the first line of verse 2, it is just a regular measure of 4/4 time. So you can do 2 counts of the A major and then 2 counts of the A7. But then in the second line this time, it does the 5/4 measure. Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe. 4 thoughts meander like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. 5 Jagaru. And then we have another chorus. That chorus is just like the first chorus, so then we are on to verse 3. Here's the chords for that. So this time we do have a line with the 2/4 measure of E minor 7 followed by the G minor, but this time it's the first line of the verse, and then the second line of the verse ends with the 4/4 measure with the A's in it. Sounds of laughter, shades of life are ringing through my opened ears, inciting and inviting me. 3, 4. Limitless, undying love which shines around me like a million suns and calls me on and on across the universe. 4 Jaga. And then we are in the last chorus. After the last chorus, which is just like the other choruses, we have the outro. Here's the chords to that. It's just D over and over again. Jagaru Jagaru. So it just repeats that over and over again. The Beatles recording starts fading out. But I'm probably just going to do it maybe 4 or 6 times, however it feels right. And there's a very optional low melody that comes in that sounds like this. So I'm going to be throwing that in. So it's essentially just walking up a D major scale, except for instead of hitting the E on the way up to F sharp, you just do the D twice, skip to the F sharp, and then follow the rest of the way up. That's going to be on 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you got a big head start if you've learned and practiced your scales, but I'm just doing 5, 5, 3, 2, 1, cross third finger over, 3, 2, 1. And by the way, if you like this little bass line, you can use it in other choruses in the song. In the Fiona Apple recording of this song, which by the way is really good, they always throw it in on Jagaru Deva Om. So you can throw that in throughout the song if you'd like. On the Beatles recording, it doesn't happen the first time, so we have Jagaru Deva, and then Jagaru Deva. Jagaru Deva, Jagaru Deva. some point, I'm just going to end on the D on Deva and call it a song. That is the end. Okay, thank you for sticking with me. I'm now going to do a full playthrough so you can see how all the parts fit together in the full song. If you enjoy this video, give it a like. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click the bell so you know when I put out more videos like this one. Okay, here's my version of Across the Universe. Nothing's gonna